What's up, Degenerate Nation? Welcome to the Big Bets on Campus podcast. This is the Week 12 college football betting recap and Week 13 look ahead. I'm Stuckey, and with me, as always, is Collin Wilson. This will be a quick episode, by the way. I mean, we're going to be back with you in just a few days because we'll have episodes early this week with the holiday. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Collin, how was yours?
It's amazing to me how spot on right I can be with the Utah first half and how I can elude the fact that I don't think the Razorbacks are going to show up. They actually showed up. And then with a team like Auburn that goes to South Carolina smoke and mirrors the entire season, and Auburn just absolutely lays an egg, which wasn't even TJ Finley's fault. The defense couldn't stop anything. So it was a very wide spectrum in week 12 of nailed it and whiffed it. It was quite amazing.
I'm so bad. I faded Alabama. I faded Arkansas, bet Alabama there. That Alabama team is not winning the national title. But go watch Arkansas against Georgia and then Arkansas against Alabama. And that's all you need to know, the difference between those two teams. The worst thing that could ever happen to the college football playoff, by the way, is that if Alabama gets in with two losses, because that's Alabama's path to winning the national title is two losses. And I'll tell you why. If they lose to Georgia and then there's just a bunch of chaos and they put Alabama in still with two losses because it was a close loss to Georgia, then Georgia would have to play them again because you have to put Alabama in as the 4 seed. And Georgia would have to play Alabama again the next game in back-to-back games. That's such a disadvantage for the team that just won. For the team that went undefeated. But college football playoff quick thoughts. Ohio State, destruction, absolute destruction over Michigan State. And Michigan State couldn't score because if they did, CJ Stroud could have thrown for 1,000 yards in the game. Not even kidding. The game could have ended. They could have put up 100 burger. What is the term for that? Is it 100 burger? 100 double, a double Whopper or something. And so look, Ohio State, I think, is the best offense in the country. I don't think many people would disagree with that. Georgia's the best defense. And so that's, those two teams are in. And now it gets a little dicier, right? Oregon's now done. The Big 12 champ, if Oklahoma State runs the table, or Notre Dame is back in the conversation. How do you see this playing out?
Well, Oklahoma State's going to be a favorite this weekend. And I know that you and I are, so everybody listening, we're recording this on Sunday morning, and only, I think DraftKings has popped up and Oklahoma State -1. I think another Jersey book popped up in Oklahoma -1. I've already seen our power rating numbers. I've already seen SP Plus. This thing is going to gravitate towards Oklahoma State being a 2.5 point favorite. And defensively, they are just putting on clinics. I really thought Donovan Smith and Texas Tech was going to be able to generate some sort of points after what they looked like the week before. Oklahoma State is putting on absolute clinics. I don't believe in the offense whatsoever. But
Jim Knowles for the Royals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't believe Oklahoma State is necessarily back, especially on offense. So I think Oklahoma State is going to win this game. If that happens, you get an Oklahoma State Baylor Big 12 championship. So I don't know. I haven't seen the updated odds. It's Sunday morning, but Oklahoma State last week I talked about on the Sources podcast with Brett. I said 80-1 is a stupid number and that needs to be hit. And I still think Oklahoma State, they're going to be favored this weekend, and then they'll be favored again over Baylor. I think they have a great shot.
Yeah, Baylor can't trip up against Texas Tech, though. So we'll see. Texas Tech looked awful last week, but if Baylor loses, then it's Oklahoma again, and that would be tough. It would be tough for Oklahoma State to beat. Either one of those teams to win 2 in a row. But yeah, I agree. I think Oklahoma State's going to beat Oklahoma. I was not impressed with Oklahoma. I would bet Iowa State there a million times over. Oh, just awful bounces.
I think we take some shit in the voicemails, but it's listen, Brock Purdy can't fumble with 10 seconds left in the second quarter next to the goal line, get picked up and ran back. All right. And I mean, the whole handicap in that game was they should be Big 12 champs right now, but there's 3 turnovers in the game. And then Iowa State gets into these spots and they shit the bed every time, every year. And it's like clockwork.
Yeah, there was five game-changing plays in a span of 5 game minutes, and they all went Oklahoma's way. Midfield ball gets batted, 10 seconds left, and right into a defensive lineman's hands. Second half, first drive, Caleb Williams, who was horrendous, by the way, 8 of 18 for 80 yards. He gets, and this was against an Iowa State secondary that hasn't been able to stop anybody. He gets sacked in the end zone, fumbles. It somehow bounces again into a Oklahoma lineman's hands. This, by the way, came after the opening kick that was muffed, but bounced right out of bounds. Then you have a 4th down that they got, and then Iowa State didn't get a 4th down. And they still had a chance to win. I was not impressed with that Oklahoma team at all. And that's who they are. I mean, you barely beat Kansas. By the way, Kansas almost
we almost had it. I took some flack. I got some mentions on Twitter about taking Kansas at the moneyline round robin parlay, but hey, you know what? Lose at a field goal at the very last second in the game. I would bet that. There's my bet regret right there. For some reason, I had actual money across the counter on Kansas point spread, but I didn't get it in the app. So there's a bet regret there.
For the round robin on the Big Bets on Campus live show, which is always on Twitter live, 10:30 a.m. Eastern every Saturday morning. We had a couple of the round robins were so close. Kansas, Navy, East Carolina steals another game. UAB, UTSA steals another game. But before we get to voicemails, best call, worst call, bet regret. Have to go with Ohio State. Just an absolute clinic at the Michigan State secondary, destitute, impoverished. Just I could go on, and that's what we called for. And CJ Stroud put on a clinic, and it's nice to know when you're laying 3 touchdowns that you don't have to worry about a backdoor 10 minutes into the game. Worst call has to be Texas Tech. This is a team that was absolutely, thoroughly dominated. I mean, this game. Let me tell you some stats here. Oklahoma State held Texas Tech, and this is some garbage yards in here, to 108 yards, 1.9 yards per play. I would say Kansas State. I was off there, but I needed Bohannon to play that game. Bohannon gets hurt in the first half, and this kid Chapin comes in and plays really well. Was impressed with the Baylor defense, though. Let's see. Is there anything else? Bet regret was UMass. I'm wearing UMass now. I had it up. You ever have a bet up? And then I had it up, and then if I put it in, I was going to put it in the app. Like I had it up. I had my amount in the box to hit submit. And then I said, yeah, you know what? I got a little gun shy, and I said, I think Army probably is going to be up big at some point, and I can get a better number. Maybe I can get a better number second half. And that didn't happen. UMass was one of the easiest covers of the day. So that's my best, worst call and bet regret. How about you?
Well, I thought UMass was actually going to win that game and go over their win total. So that was close there for a minute. I'll be real quick with some of mine. I mean, worst call, I took Akron against Kent State. They got blanked. Kent State defense kept Akron from scoring. Bad call there. Went on the podcast, made a million reasons why Wake can beat Clemson, and then told everybody to pay attention to the market because the market is screaming Clemson is winning. I'd say worst call, me taking Wake. But really the worst of the weekend was me taking Florida Atlantic, thinking that their pass coverage could hang with Western Kentucky. Couple of really bad plays.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. New podcast rule. Not allowed to say his name.
I'm completely done with that program. From a best call perspective, just absolutely nailed it on Utah first half. Washington State on Friday night -14 was easy in that fog and cold and snow. Nebraska, Wisconsin over. You and I talked about it on the Big Bets on Campus Live. That I don't know what it is with this series. If you go back and check Nebraska, Wisconsin every year, the game always ends up in the 50s or higher. I can't understand what goes on in this series. And then finally, a third week in a row, I don't know where the odds makers are making this Wyoming number. They are dominating teams, dominating 3 weeks in a row. I've been cashing on Wyoming, and I'm not going to stop betting them. Bet regret by far on the podcast, telling everybody the Florida International is done and Seth Luttrell is covering every game. I think that was 35-0 in the second half. North Texas is playing out of their mind, but more importantly, Florida International has been done for a long time.
They've quit. All right, it's time for us to get the voicemails, and then we'll take a quick look at next week, and then we'll get out of here because we're going to be back in a couple days, and this is a crazy week. So we got to go find some winners. But here are the voicemails.
The guy is drunk, but there he goes.
Leave a message after the bleep.
Hey, Stuckey and Collin. Dylan from Iowa here. Long-time listener going all the way back to the DGen and Juice days. And I just need to get my rant of the week out on a Friday night already from last night's bullshit or Wednesday night's bullshit or whatever it is. The week's blurring together already because of action has me so hot. Central Michigan, you're seeing some of this steam, bad weather, and blah, blah, blah. And, the under moves from like 60 to 57. And I'm like, you know what? This is overreaction. I kind of like the over at 60. I'm going over 57. It. First half, we just are right on pace to just blow it out of the water. What are we on pace for? Like 70 points? And then all of a sudden, action happens. A 9-point second half. Midweek, like I'm already in a rut. I've got to go to work all day. I got to take care of my kids when I get home. All I want to do at night, is sit down and watch some good action football that hits my bets. And here we are getting 9 points second half. Just atrocious. Screw the University of Auburn.
Yeah, by the way, there's a couple of them every weekend that are so brutal when it's a huge blowout, and then you got to watch your over just live a slow death. And in the second half, when it's like 45-0, and then nothing happens for an entire half, the underdog might get close and turn it over on downs or something. Yeah, those are painful. Sorry, brother.
I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like 14-0, got me feeling all good. Parlay's looking great. Nope, you just lose to South Carolina. I mean, screw that program. I mean, I get your first year coach, but can the guy. You can't lose to South Carolina. You can't. Auburn. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn, this is a box score that's just completely mesmerizing to me because South Carolina, they finished less in overall yards per play, but they won 101 yards in hidden yards, which means they had an average field position of the 32-yard line versus Auburn at the 23. Auburn's secondary, I don't know if there's some injuries going on back there with Roger McCreary. They were absolutely horrible. But I mean, from an offensive perspective with TJ Finley and Tank Bigsby, they had big days. So very uncharacteristic of Auburn in their secondary to get lit up, which they did by Jason Brown, 3 TDs. Yeah, very bad field position, just a real sloppy game by Auburn. Weren't prepared for this at all. Maybe overlooked the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, that's their Super Bowl now. From watching Alabama, does Auburn have a shot there?
Offensively, yeah. I mean, I have to check on the status of Roger McCreary and Smoke Monday. I mean, what's going on with the secondary? Because that's where South Carolina attacked them. If those guys are fully healthy and there wasn't injuries that played into the fact in the Auburn secondary, then this should be all systems a go on a very inflated Alabama line.
Yeah, you should get Auburn over 2 touchdowns, maybe closer to 3. Who knows how much of an overreaction the market has to that Auburn loss.
Gosh, money line. You can stick your numbers with Bo Nix minus 13.5, Colin. Stick them up your ass. The Cox win outright. The Cox are going f***ing bowling. The Cox are going to take down Clemson next week. It'd be 7-5. Let's f***ing go. Hey, Colin, Stuckey.
We are all Cox next weekend against Clemson.
Win from South Carolina. Winners Rice Stadium. Victorious. I've got to laugh at you guys. You've been paying South Carolina all season long. Under 4 wins.
Fucking clowns.
We are 6-5. We're going to a bowl game. We're going to crush Clemson. Just you guys. Gamecocks.
Don't make me bet Clemson. Don't piss me off so much to bet. You're fade material against Clemson. You're fade material in a bowl. All right. You're smoking mirrors all season. Tons of wins on South Carolina's schedule this year. You shouldn't have won. I'm sure that once I get to the end of the season, I start doing post-game win expectancies and second order win totals. Your win total should have been more like 3 instead of 6. So good luck Gamecocks in the next couple games.
By the way, I'm not involved in this. I love my people down in Columbia. Hold on, we gotta pull
That rooster is the most annoying thing ever. That home rooster Gamecock, every time you get a first down, like the Kansas State Wildcat, every first down is a little annoying, but that rooster Gamecock after every first down in Columbia is just, it's just, I wouldn't even go inside the damn building. I would just stay out in one of those little train carts they have and drink and eat, because that rooster is annoying.
I love Columbia. I was there for a Georgia game. We partied hard. I haven't been fading you all year. I don't have your win total under. So this is you're mad at Collin, not me. All right, moving on.
Don't associate with gamblers. Don't talk to them. Avoid them like the plague. Hey, Stuckey, you know what you avoid like the plague? Michigan's 9-2 against the spread record. You have taken them. Let me check here. 0 times. You've taken them no times. You went against them a few times. Western Michigan blowout. This game blowout. You might have covered when you took Wisconsin, but everyone knows Michigan covered that game, or at least the spread everyone else took. So, maybe think about it. Actually, don't think about it. Do me a favor. Do not take them against Ohio State, because they're probably going to get trucked anyway. But I feel bad for you that you've missed this gravy boat all season. Anyway, love you guys. Keep up the good work.
By the way, I love people that just leave out information. Against Penn State, Michigan, I had the under. I didn't fade you. I had Maryland. I lose my Maryland every week. Great. What about Nebraska? Huh? What about the Nebraska game? Did you cover that one? They didn't, right? I think you covered the close, maybe it closed because there was so much money on Nebraska. Maybe it closed 2.5, but most people got 3.5, 4 there. What was that final score? Yeah, ended 3. I covered that game. Nebraska. Nebraska covers every game against ranked teams. So yeah, I've lost on them. Let's see. I had the under 1-1. I don't know. I'm like 2-1 and 2-4 on Michigan games. The Crimea River. Congrats. Enjoy it. What are you calling me for?
The biggest problem is you taking Maryland every week. I jumped off the boat. I jumped off the Maryland boat.
Here's my season in summer. In that 3:30 slate, summarized my entire season. Navy treats me so well. They always cover for me. And Nebraska. I'm 7-0 in Nebraska games this year now. And it started with that Illinois under to start the year. Even those who got in late got the missed extra point. And then I've had them every time as an underdog. It's been amazing. And then in Maryland, just vomit. I tweeted out. I said, if I bet Maryland next week, you can delete my app. You can block my Twitter account. And I had to put that out there because I'm not disciplined enough not to do it. So, yeah, who's Maryland have next week?
Rutgers, which I have the Maryland season win total over 5.5. So I'm already betting Rutgers just to get, it's like a 4-unit play for me. It's like it's over a dime bet for me on a season win total. So I need them to beat Rutgers pretty bad.
No, but big win, huge win in a bad spot. You guys dominated. Go Big Blue. It looks like, I don't know. What is that Ohio State line going to open up now? It's weird because look at it was like 4.5, some places 6.5. Michigan dominated, but Ohio State, everyone saw that. I mean, this line might go up to like 10 now.
As of this morning, DraftKings opened at 8.5 and it dropped down to 8. So we'll see.
Okay.
Stuck. Just watching Michigan and Maryland right now, 59-18 right now, 5.5 minutes. Just wanted to give you the number 1-800-GAMBLER. Concerned about a loved one right now, continuing to bet Maryland, this poverty team, this poverty offense, poverty defense, poverty everything. If you need help, that 1-800-GAMBLER number, give it a call. Go Terps.
Collin, I know they don't matter anymore, but Arizona State just loves to beat me in the heart, man. Unbelievable. We're actually going to lose to Oregon State. And yes, they're having a good year. But are you kidding me? For Stuckey baking that we were going to be a top 5 program to losing to Oregon State, the Pac-12 South is bad. And we're somehow worse. Absolutely ridiculous.
I didn't pause it after this.
Lose it. I hope the entire program gets clean.
Yeah.
Hold on.
From this investigation, we need something new. Jaden Daniels can't throw. Whatever. Let's win some money, something else, some other weekend.
Oregon State had 46 rushing attempts to just 18 passing attempts. And in those 46 rushing attempts, they averaged 5.2 yards per carry, and they were only stuffed 11 times on the night. So whatever's going on with Arizona State's rush D, if you can't stop the Beavers from running the ball, they're constantly going to be in standard downs. They're constantly going to move the chains, and they've been really good in the red zone this season. And that's where the Sun Devils also fell. 2.3 average points per possession past the 40-yard line on their drives. That's a big reason why they ended up with just 10 points. But more importantly, Oregon is struggling against teams that can run the ball, and Oregon State is just on point right now on the ground. So something to watch here with the Civil War.
Yeah, Arizona State also wasn't at full strength for that game, and they're clearly kind of checked out. But Darian Butler, Buckus Award semifinalist, one of the best linebackers in the country, was ruled out before the game. And a couple other starting defenders as well. But Butler against him, his loss against Oregon State in particular was huge. But yeah, Arizona State's done. So they are meaningless now. Oh, shit.
Collin, man, I'm just chilling here. Cash my Notre Dame over win total ticket. Last week, 8.5, cash 9.5 today. Biggest bet of the preseason for you. That's gotta hurt, man. I'm just glad that you didn't pick something based on an orange out at UTSA like you did last week. I mean, what a handicap, an orange out at UTSA. That is just really riveting stuff there, man. Man, I hope you can get one winning week before the season ends. That's all I got, man. Go Irish.
Yeah, well, we also cashed a Utah to win the South plus 650. But I would say with your 3 units that you won on your Notre Dame over, you should go down and trade your Cricket phone in and maybe get some Verizon or some AT&T. I hear Sprint's good in Florida and T-Mobile's good in California. A better connection and a faster internet service will help you get the best line when you take Notre Dame overs every single year. Congratulations.
Well, you have a new enemy now. All right, moving on.
What is up? We just beat the out of SC, UCLA, baby. 62 points in the rivalry game. I get that SC's down, but they are absolutely miserable. UCLA's figuring this out. They're going to shit killers and get this rolling for next year. DTR season in full effect. Out. Collin, Stuckey, it's John from Iowa again. I got 2 things first. First, Navy TCU. Come on, man. Like, that's some pussy ass. God, a win the game. You don't let the servicemen. It's a military appreciation month. Why can't you let the servicemen win a game? That was a juicy money line. 200 plus. Oh my God. And then, Iowa State. Come on, man. What better judgment? I should have been like, all right, I'm gonna be a square inch. Take the and God, Oklahoma minus whatever. I'm like, come on, that was just piss. I should have known better. Don't trust Iowa State and the God Raiders. Pretty is done. The week rolls on. On to the next. Love you guys. Peace out. What's that word you said? Did you say use? What is a use?
I got something about Iowa State. If you want to
just
pause.
won me a little over.
Yeah, I would bet. Like I bet. What did I bet? Oklahoma. I bet Texas Tech would never bet that. I would not bet them again. Iowa State I bet 100 out of 100 times. I actually would bet more, knowing how that game played out. Just a couple bad bounces. It happens.
One nugget you should take into the Bedlam game this weekend. Oklahoma had 30 rushing attempts. They were stuffed on 16 of them. 53% of runs.
And their quarterback went 8 of 18 for 80 yards.
Yeah, and that's what veers the number off a little bit. I mean, Iowa State just shot themselves in the foot. 3 offensive turnovers, only averaged 3 points inside the 40-yard line on scoring attempts.
All the fumbles bounced their way. They had a fumble bounce their way for a touchdown. A fumble in the end zone bounces to their offensive lineman. And there's 2 14-point swings right there. Iowa State wins if those bounces go differently.
And one final stat, Iowa State, 8 passes over 15 yards. Caleb Williams only had 2. So you can't convince me to take OU this weekend.
Yeah, Oklahoma State should win that game.
4.5 units. 2 guys out of the woodwork today. Hit me up. Hey, is Oregon really getting 3 points today? Can you get me in? Sure, no problem. So I hold 2 of these bets, okay? I feel bad taking my friends' money. Nope, they should have listened to the podcast. And did I also collect their bigs? You're damn right I did. If you want to dance, you got to pay the fiddler. What a game today. In the words of Ice Cube, today was a good day. Love you boys. McMurphy, you silver fox looking mother. Peace.
You always get a McMurphy shout in there. But anything there?
No. Just a silver fox motherfucker.
Moving on.
Is there any team?
Oh, by the way, yeah, Utah was dominant. How do you punt that if you're Oregon at the end of the half? There's 8 seconds left. This is one of the best punt returners in the country. It's been there for 25 years at the program.
I mean, you tweeted out, hey, Cristobal, go inside the locker room and yell at your players. You have to wonder, like, if at some point it's like, we're just not going to show anything in the second half. We'll take a deep shot pass with Anthony Brown here. We got 7 on the board, but, like, are we done showing anything until we get to hopefully get to the Pac-12 championship game? I mean, it was a very dreadful second half. Oregon was not ready for that whatsoever. It was an assault.
Yeah, just absolutely dominant. I mean, the night slate was so bad on Saturday. Unfortunately, there's just nothing to sweat. Like, even not as a bettor, like just no drama in any of the games.
Unless you want to stay up and watch pick sixes by Hawaii on your Colorado State bet.
Well, there's still no drama. Everything was a blowout from like 7 o'clock on.
Otter. Oh my gosh. What a money line outright win. That is so fucking great. Next week, ODU at home versus Charlotte. Club Lit ain't ready for Hayden Wolf. Woo! ODU, baby.
ODU, what a coaching job, by the way. One of the best coaching jobs in the country. This is the team that I could not catch up on. I always show value against them. And I was trying to adjust so fast because their defense is playing so well. This is a team that was so bad in 2019. Didn't play last year. So like my prior on them, I was like, I don't know. I'll throw a dart and say they're one of the 3 worst teams in the country before the year. But they've been playing really good football. They can get the bowl eligibility next week. All right. I think they're 5 and 6.
Yeah, they're a team they're a team we're going to keep on betting on. I think the narrative was really Ricky Rain, who was the former offensive coordinator of Penn State, and I believe he was being elbowed out of his job and not getting results for the Nittany Lions while he was there. So when he took the job with ODU before the pandemic hit, we didn't have very high expectations for ODU, but they figured it out. They're playing defense, and this is a bet on team this week and in bowl season if they make it.
ODU, baby.
You got to have a special teams coordinator originally to fire one to replace one. Adrian Martinez, great man, great leader, great warrior. 15 chances this season to either tie or take the lead on a final drive. 0 points, 0 points at all. 0. 1 less than 1. 0. Scott Frost, great guy. Got to get him together next year. Come on, man.
Stuckey and Collin. I'm in the bathroom at this bar, middle of halftime. This is your resident K-State caller, by the way. I cannot believe the first half was decided by 2 punt calls. There's a must punt to start the game, as well as the fake kick catch for interference. Unbelievable. If anyone anyone else in this battle, I think I'm insane. Hey, we're down 10 and a half. We just need one score. Everything's back. I cannot believe I got all of Gambling Nation on Kansas State this week. I'm not worried. I'm very worried. If K-State doesn't come back and win this game, you'll find me in a ditch. Colin, Stuckey, this is your resident Kansas State fan. All I have to do is apologize. I'm sorry I brought you guys on the Kansas State train. There's not many words to be said about what happened today. We got outplayed. I brought all the attention on Kansas State. We were on a covering machine. And they should just stay quiet. Things would have went differently. Who knows? But all I know is that Skylar Thompson's healthy next week. And Texas is still the team that quit. If we get anything like K-State under 3 points, I don't know what the number will be. Murder it. We're making it all back, baby. Kansas State is not dead yet, but my goodness, today, I'm sorry they lost you guys money. I let Gambling Nation down. That's on me. I'll take this on the chin. Colin Stuck coming to you live from Waco, Texas. Sick'em Bears. God, you guys are idiots. God, oh, Colin, that's better for weekend. K-State -1. Man, this feels good to say. At least you guys got Gary Bohannon's real name right. You actually said Gary. Congrats. Oh, my God. Oh, K-State missed a 25-yard field goal. What field goal? God, you guys are idiots. Keep fading the Bears. Sick 'em always.
That's it's quite interesting. Kansas State 0.8 points per possession inside the 40. They choked in scoring position. Skylar Thompson was not very good. Even Will Howard was not very good. I mean, this is still a team that I don't know, that they were pathetic when they got into scoring position. Could never get anything going past 10 points.
Why didn't that guy call in against the after TCU game? Interesting, but. Yeah, I mean, I gave credit. I'll give credit to the Baylor defense, but Bohannon went out. This guy's been deteriorating, just giving games away, trying to give games away. He's 6 picks in his last 4 games and only 5 touchdowns. And he got hurt, and Shapen came in and was very efficient for the entire second half.
16 to 21 for Shapen. I mean, that's it. It's 137 yards. That's good.
So I none of the Bohannon mistakes that you get every week, and they ended up winning, but I got to give the defense credit. And Kansas State guy, hold your head up high, man. I like them too. And I love how you apologize for leading everyone to Kansas State. And then you try to lead them back to them next week. So we'll see. All right, good stuff. God.
I believe this is also a guy that sent me a 5-paragraph email about Kent State in my personal email. So I think he might have been calling in to apologize. To loop back, just one more thing on the voicemails about Wisconsin and Nebraska. Braylon Allen, 17 years old, 228 yards, average 10.4 per carry and 3 TDs. I can't wait to see this dude run against Ohio State's defensive front. I mean, that's just going to be prime time.
He's amazing.
Awesome.
I really want to see Ohio State's offense versus Georgia's defense. I hope that's the national title.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get out of here, there's no need for 3 downs because we have a lot to do and we'll be back in a couple days. Let's just give one look for next weekend. I'll give 2 quick ones. Nebraska, anything under a field goal, I'm playing them. I don't think that they've quit. They're still fighting hard. And this is all they do. I can't see Iowa moving the ball on the Nebraska defense. And Nebraska, they've treated us too well. This is their last game of the year. They're not going to a bowl. And Oklahoma State, I've come around on them. Offense has been better with Martin back, but it's the defense is just on another level. And Caleb Williams is lost right now. Lost. He was the last 2 weeks. He looks like he drops back in the pocket and goes brain dead. And this is an Iowa State secondary that's been giving up 400 yards to everyone that's played. And he went 8 of 18 for 80 yards. I do not see how he has any success against this secondary, which is just surgical right now. They are so physical. And they are getting tons of pressure. Caleb Williams, I think, is going to have another bad game. Give me the Pokes. 2 look-aheads for you next week?
I think everybody should pay attention to teams that are trying to make it to a bowl game, and they're taking on teams that cannot make a bowl game. And those 3 teams are Ball State, West Virginia, and Memphis. So I would look to get a best effort out of those teams that would love to make bowl season. But all three of them, Ball State with Drew Plitt having so many upperclassmen on that team trying to make a bowl. West Virginia, Neil Brown needs to make a bowl for his job. And then Memphis with a freshman quarterback definitely is going to be pulling. So those are three teams that are facing teams that have no path to the postseason. So I would check those out. And that kind of leads us into Tuesday night. We have two games on Tuesday night, and Ball State specifically trying to make it to bowl season, going up against a Buffalo team where Kyle Van Trees is out for the season. So, it's a number with Kyle Van Trees. I would make it about 4, but I expect it to open probably 9, 10. I don't know without Kyle Van Trees at Buffalo.
Another game to keep in mind, the other on Tuesday night, Western Michigan at Northern Illinois. You better believe we'll be on Western Michigan somehow. We got to lose one last time on Northern Illinois. Well, they're going to go to the MAC championship. Northern Illinois is not playing for anything here.
Right.
They've already locked up the division. They're already going to the MAC championship. Western Michigan is 6-5, and here's something to keep in mind. Every year you see teams in the MAC that are 6-6 that get left out of. Not every year, but a lot of years. And Tim Lester, the coach for Western Michigan, his first year in Western Michigan was in 2017. And they went 6-6 and they got left out of a bowl. So that's something that was probably, hit them hard. Like, all right, it's my first year as a head coach. We went 6-6. So I'm sure that'll be a motivating factor here for Western Michigan. There's a Northern Illinois team that could be 2-9. That they've just won every game by 1 point. I'm hoping that this opens. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much love there is in Northern Illinois. I make this let's see, with the spot 9 or 10. I just want under 7. Maybe we can get 4. I'll be looking at. I don't know what we'll get here. I'm way off on Northern Illinois every week, so I think they stink. And we'll lose money on them. They'll end up winning by 1. So maybe we'll get Western Michigan plus 3.5 because then you're guaranteed to win.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge discrepancy in what Northern Illinois is doing versus what odds makers or myself or even SP Plus. This is a game that I make a pick, and SP Plus actually makes Western Michigan minus 2.5. So this is a really big spot, and you're right. When they're
this is at Northern Illinois. I make this 7. I make this minus 7.
Yeah.
With the spot included, because Northern Illinois is playing for nothing. So there's a good chance that they rest guys. There's a good chance that they don't play it. Right? I mean, you could see them pull starters. This game means nothing to them. Absolutely nothing. And it's not like they're trying to knock Western Michigan off from anything.
Yeah, and Western Michigan has all the goods on the offensive side of the ball. This Northern Illinois defense is just smoke and mirrors, 118th in defensive finishing drives, almost dead last in line yards and havoc, and they can't defend the rush. And Western Michigan's one of the best rushing teams in the nation. So yeah, definitely a play here on the Broncos. But 130th in special teams.
Special teams, yeah. Northern Illinois special teams have been good.
It's so scary. But yes, Broncos are the side.
All right, that'll do it for us. We have to go find some winners for this week. We will be back early this week. We will have our Group of 5 podcast. Those guys have been killing it tomorrow on Tuesday. And then we will have our episode on Wednesday for you guys, previewing next week's slate. We have games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's time for us to go get to work. Appreciate all of you guys calling in to the voicemail as always. You guys help make the show great. And it's time for us to go get to work. We'll catch y'all later.